your business name. You may launch your business, but you really got to think long, maybe even deep as to what the name of your business should be. Perhaps it's a franchise, perhaps it's a franchise and you just have a store number as you go through. Maybe it's something you totally create as you go through, but the whole thing is own your business name as you go through, and it's called a fictitious business name or a DBA, which means doing business as. DBA is more common business slang as you go through, but regardless, own your name and make certain that you have a right to it and that you don't sit there and build up your business. And then somebody else comes along and they try to snatch that name away from you and get all the different goodwill you've generated over the years because you didn't sit there, properly go through and file to keep and own your business name as you go through. It's part of your brand. It's something that we develop. We have a relationship with our customers using that name and kind of take the style and image as we go through a thought process that people associate with us when they hear that name, what's invoked by it, because it is us, it is our business, it is our brand as we go through. Let's start here in California. I want to go through the Orange County Clerk's Office and check underneath fictitious business name. That same thing as doing business as, but we call it formally, from a legal perspective, a fictitious business name. In other states besides California, you may go through and actually file with the Secretary of State's office or a different entity, but here in California, it's broken up so we all file at our county clerk's office as you go through. You just go on fictitious business names, click, and you're right there with Orange County Clerk as you go through, and you're going to select fictitious business name. And really, the purpose is to make it available to the public, the identities of the people or entities doing business under a fictitious business name. You're going to actually file as an owner of that name as you go through. And then who should file? It could be you as an individual, or maybe if you've already organized as an LLC or a subchapter S, you may actually have a fictitious business name that's associated with your corporation as you go through. I know several people that have a business and they have incorporated with an LLC or a subchapter S as you go through, and they own multiple different DBAs or doing business as. If they want to wander over to this field over here, they can call the business this and that, and it's all part of the same corporation. Or you as a person, you may decide to choose more than one fictitious business name. You may sit down and do Lauren's hairstyle as you go here. And Lauren, though, may actually do other work over here. Lauren's seamstress services as you go through. Lauren's marketing consultant. You may have different things and you file different ones and they can all be placed on your name for whatever you choose to have. You can own multiple business names as you go through. So we call it fictitious business name or a doing business as. The very first step, what you get on the system is you have to conduct a search using your name to see if anybody else is using it. Search FBN, fictitious business name, and you want to go back and check that, and it's your job to go through and search for that name in the county that you're filing for. If it's not, and you get to claim that name, you get to own that name for 5 years. And then at the end of the 5 years, the county clerk's office notifies you to see if you want to renew that name. So you can actually own this name almost in perpetuity if you keep on renewing it every 5 years. But first of all, conduct the name as you go through. And by the way, it's quite possible somebody else may have your same name in an adjoining county as you go through, because this is county searching as you go through. Once your search completes, there's no other competing names. Select fictitious business name statement. It's right over there as you go through. New fictitious business name in the very top as you go through, and read the directions as you go through. This is not difficult. It's relatively easy as you go through. The county clerk's office has really helped it. This is just going through to show you the step-by-step process how to do it. You're going to select a category. So over here, fictitious business name, number of registrants. There's a $23 fee initially as you go through. By the time you're done, you can actually go through and pay $50 to $70 and actually own that name with all the money that you're going to spend for this one thing. And all of a sudden, you can own the name of the business as you go through. You need to choose any one of 12 different choices. So you got to select a corporation, a general partnership, a joint venture, a limited liability corporation or an LLC, a limited liability partnership or an LLP, we call that as well, a limited partnership. And if you take Entrepreneurship 211, we'll cover that as you go through. A married couple, a state or registered domestic partnership, a trust, an individual, an unincorporated association, or co-partners as you go through. for purposes of our illustration, we'll just go through as an individual to choose a name. So now I'm going to fill in your name as you go through, right there. And then you're going to fill in the business address, click or home or studio as you go through, and then fill in the registered owner if it's a corporation. So if this doesn't pertain to you, then skip it. In our case, we're going to skip it because we're fine as an individual. But if you're a corporation, you put the name of your corporation and the address there appropriately. Okay, put your ownership, okay, as you go through. And then by the time you're all done, you're going to be adding this on point 12. You're going to print the screen by the time you're all done. And if there's errors, revise it before you print it, because you're proofreading your document as you go through on step 12. Review, print, and pay. They want your money. Of course they do, as they go through. So then you print the form because you're going to actually send a check. You're going to mail a check to them. So you have to print the form because they want what we call a wet signature on the form. I recommend whenever you sign a document, usually the paper is white, usually the ink is black. Take a blue pen, which is the standard in all legal circles, and you sign it in blue. And yes, I know that pretty much you can have a copy machine make any color that you want to, but for the most part, the blue indicates that somebody has a what we call a wet signature as you go through. So you make out a check for $23. Usually, it will actually tell you how much. You copy everything before you mail it, including the copy of the check. Make certain you have a copy of the form that you send. You send it to the clerk's office, and what happens as soon as you actually fill out the form, you'll get a couple of people contacting you saying, yo, you need to go ahead and make certain that you publish this for 30 days, at least twice, if you want it to last longer than a month. And you really have to. So you'll get 2 or 3 different local newspapers. And what has to happen is they will publish a notice for you of what you filed, because people have a right to know that you as a person or you as a corporation are owning this particular name, and that your company or name is behind that. So they will sit down, they'll print it. You have to run it at least twice in 1 month as you go through. Multiple papers do that. And I promise you, you'll get 2, 3, or 4 or 5 different papers reaching out, trying to get your business to sit down there and publish your DBA or your fictitious business name. So watch for that. You can go shopping, and if you go shopping right, you can actually pick one up and actually do it for less than $25. So $23 for the registration, and then another $25. You can actually go through, own your fictitious business name or your DBA for less than $50 as you go through. Once it's all done, your DBA, you have ownership of the name in Orange County, California. That's how you own your own business name. No more steps. Congratulations. The statement, you'll have that saying, you have completed the process. And that's how you go about owning your own business name and beginning to identify you as a business owner in Orange County, California, or whatever county you choose to have residents in California, or whatever area in the country that you have. Congratulations. Take care.